High upon Mount Olympus, Zeus, the king of the gods, looked down upon the world. He saw Leda, queen of Sparta, bathing in a river. Her beauty was breathtaking. Zeus, known for his many loves, was captivated. He descended from the heavens disguised as a magnificent swan. From their union, Helen was born. Even as a baby, Helen possessed an unearthly charm. Her skin was like alabaster, her hair like spun gold. As she grew, her beauty became legendary. Princes and kings from all over the land sought her hand in marriage. Her stepfather, King Tyndareus, feared choosing a husband for Helen. He worried that the rejected suitors might wage war upon Sparta. A wise man advised him to make all the suitors swear an oath to protect Helen and her chosen husband no matter what. The suitors agreed. Little did they know the chaos this oath would unleash. Among Helen's suitors was Menelaus, brother of Agamemnon, the powerful king of Mycenae. Menelaus was a strong and ambitious king. With Agamemnon's backing, he won Helen's hand. They married, and Helen became queen of Sparta. Meanwhile, on Mount Olympus, a grand feast was underway. All the gods and goddesses were invited, except Eris, the goddess of discord. Enraged at being excluded, Eris devised a plan. She tossed a golden apple into the banquet hall. Inscribed on it were the words, "To the fairest." 3 goddesses, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite, each claimed the apple. Zeus, unwilling to choose among them, declared that Paris, a young prince of Troy, would decide. Each goddess offered Paris a bribe. Hera, queen of the gods, promised him power. Athena, goddess of wisdom and war, offered him victory in battle. But Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty, tempted him with the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen. Paris, blinded by desire, chose Aphrodite. He sailed to Sparta, where he was welcomed as a guest by Menelaus. Unbeknownst to Menelaus, Paris had fallen deeply in love with Helen. He persuaded her to flee with him across the Aegean Sea to Troy. When Menelaus returned and found his wife gone, his fury shook the very foundations of his palace. He called upon all of Helen's former suitors to honor their oath. They gathered their armies, and the greatest war the world had ever seen was about to begin. The Greeks assembled a vast fleet of ships, led by Agamemnon. Among them were the mightiest warriors of the age: Achilles, swiftest of foot and deadliest with a spear; Ajax, a giant of a man, whose strength was unmatched; and Odysseus, known for his cunning and intelligence. The Trojans too had formidable heroes on their side. Hector, prince of Troy, was a noble and courageous warrior. His brother Paris, though less skilled in battle, was a gifted archer. And they had the massive walls of Troy, said to be impenetrable. The Greeks landed on the shores of Troy, and the battle lines were drawn. For 10 long years the war raged on. The early years of the war were marked by brutal skirmishes and individual duels. Achilles, enraged by the death of his beloved friend Patroclus at the hands of Hector, tore through the Trojan ranks like a raging lion. He killed Hector and dragged his body around the walls of Troy. But even Achilles was not invincible. Paris, guided by the god Apollo, shot an arrow that pierced Achilles' heel, the only vulnerable spot on his body. The Greeks mourned the loss of their greatest warrior. The war raged on, with neither side gaining a decisive advantage. Finally, Odysseus, the most cunning of the Greeks, devised a plan. The Greeks built a giant wooden horse and left it at the gates of Troy. Then they pretended to sail away, leaving a single man behind to tell a tale of surrender. The Trojans, believing the war was over, dragged the horse inside their city walls as a trophy of victory. But hidden within the horse's hollow belly were Greek warriors, waiting for nightfall. As darkness fell, the Greek fleet stealthily returned to the Trojan shores. The warriors hidden within the horse crept out and opened the city gates. The Greek army stormed Troy, laying waste to the city. Menelaus, consumed with rage, searched for Helen in Paris. He found Helen on the ramparts of the palace. Sword raised, he was ready to strike her down. But as their eyes met, all the love he once felt for her returned. He lowered his sword and took her back. Paris, wounded by a poisoned arrow, did not escape the carnage. He died, leaving Helen a widow once more. With Troy in ruins, the Greeks set sail for home. Their journey was long and perilous. Many ships were lost at sea, victims of storms or the wrath of the gods. Odysseus, cursed by Poseidon, god of the sea, wandered for 10 years before finally reaching his home in Ithaca. Menelaus and Helen too faced a difficult journey. They were blown off course and endured years of hardship before finally returning to Sparta. The Trojan War became a tale for the ages, a story of love, betrayal, courage, and loss. Helen, forever known as the face that launched 1,000 ships, remained an enigma. Was she a victim or a seductress? A pawn in the games of gods and men, or the architect of her own destiny? The answer perhaps lies lost to time, like the ruins of Troy itself. Subscribe to our channel and visit our website for more legendary tales. Join us on this journey through history.